Hair loss, isn't this just weird thing that only happens to old people once you reach your 70s? It's something that happens to most men. About 1/3 of men actually will deal with hair loss at some point in their lives.
What's up guys, Derek, moreplacemoredates.com. Today we are going to be reacting to Teaching Men's Fashion. He has a video on 7 easy ways to stop hair loss and keep your hair. And the reason I am emphasizing is because he has the capital letters for those words. So that's him, not me. But anyways, he has 7 tricks and tips. And you know, oftentimes when we see these mainstream channels, they kind of just plug some shit, gloss over shit that actually works, skip over heavy duty pharmaceutical intervention or actual like cutting edge treatment options that you would only otherwise know of if you research this shit in depth. So I wanted to see kind of what this guy actually has to offer, because to be honest, I highly doubt he deals with any of this stuff because his hair is fucking immaculate. Just like the Blue Man guy who had a fucking Norwood -1. This guy's hair is not as good as Blue Man's in terms of the Norwood scale, but it's a fucking Norwood 0. He's not negative like Blue Man, but he's solid. So I highly doubt he uses any of this stuff, except maybe like the basic stuff like shampoo and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I highly doubt he does anything with the intention of preventing hair loss. So I wanted to see how in-depth this guy's knowledge is to give advice on the subject matter, because he is a massive influencer, and to tell guys about hair loss, frankly, it's quite the responsibility, because most guys are going to experience hair loss in their lives, and this guy has one of the most prominent male self-improvement channels, so he should have good information, you would hope. So let's get into it.
About 1/3 of men actually will deal with hair loss at some point in their lives, and it could be from a myriad of reasons.
Okay, so I already don't fucking agree with this. 1/3 of men are going to experience it at some point in their lives. Like, dude, it's like 95 to 99% of men will experience, like, how many old men do you see walking around with hair that looks like Jose, what's this fucking guy's name again? Jose Zuniga or whatever? How many guys are walking around looking like this guy's hair at 80 years old? Fucking none, dude. They all have thinning, receding, or are just fucking like severely balding. Like, no one is making it to their deathbed with a perfect Norwood 0 that's dense and is like a immature hairline. Like, the only guy who does that is there's a handful of dudes you can probably think of, and like Ronald Reagan's one. There's like a handful of other dudes, but no one of the millions of guys, no one is making it with unscathed to their fucking 80s with testosterone and DHT in their body. Like, it's just not fucking happening. So 1/3 is severely underestimating it. I would say 1/3 maybe by like 28 to 30 years old at maybe, but to say like their whole lives like is fucking severely underestimating.
Today, boys, I'm going to show you 7 easy things that you can do, you can put into practice right now to ensure you stop hair loss and you keep your hair.
This guy's so charismatic. I wonder what would happen if I started my videos like an actual like YouTuber. Like, what's up guys, it's fucking me. We're gonna fucking talk about hair loss today. If you wanna get rid of this shit, I fucking got you boys. I got you boys. We're gonna be talking about 5-alpha reduction and fucking anti-androgens today, all right? Like, imagine I had that much fucking hype in my videos. I wonder if I would I would go viral more. I don't know, maybe I should try it. Let me know what you guys think. Should I start my should I start my videos like that from now on? Anyway, let's continue.
Number 1, and this is something that every dude should just do for healthy hair: wash your hair with a gentle shampoo. You see, overwashing your hair or using a very harsh shampoo can lead to you over drying your hair. That leads to breakage and weakened hair. So what you want to do is to make sure that your hair stays hydrated even after you shampoo it. And to do so, you want to swap out that cheap shampoo that you've been using since you were 5 for something that's a little bit more high-end and gentle. Now, the best way to judge if this shampoo is gentle is, 1, you'll feel it. As soon as you use it, you're going to feel that even after you wash your hair still feels soft and hydrated and not hard, coarse, and all tangled up. But more importantly, a visual cue you can use is the suds. See, if you use a shampoo and it suds up like crazy, chances are this is a cheap shampoo that has harsh detergent.
I like this distracting fucking social media advertisement for himself on the side. Like I'm trying to listen to his hair loss information. He's like scrolling through his fucking Instagram and like liking pictures on the side of the screen. It's like, what the fuck? The guy's literally telling me about suds, and on the left side of the screen is him giving his wife a fucking Christmas present, him going down and opening a picture of him sitting on some fucking boxes, and it being the picture's liked, and then he like scrolls off.
Hair. Instead, you want a shampoo that barely suds up and is very gentle and mild, enough to remove the dirt without removing the natural oil. Number 2, take daily vitamin.
Okay, so as far as the shampoo thing, I don't think it makes that much of a difference, dude, to be honest. Like, maybe, you know, you could argue at the end of the day, ideally choose a shampoo that has some anti-androgenic component. So this is why I opt for ketoconazole, and I put my recommended ketoconazole shampoo in the video description below. Or you can just get cheap Nizoral. It's gonna dry your hair out, but for some people it's tolerable if you only use it a couple times a week. But yeah, as far as like shampoo advice, yeah, I guess especially if you use Nizoral, don't overdo it because it's gonna dry your hair out. But as far as the suds and shit, like I wouldn't really read into that too much. Like ideally use stuff that's actually efficacious for doing what you are trying to do. If you're gonna put something on your head, ideally have it be something that's going to combat androgens or do something that helps. And just general advice on the shampoo wasn't, you know, I guess good general advice.
Vitamins are essential for your body and its properties so your body can operate optimal. Your hair's health requires you to have a daily dose of vitamin A, a vitamin E, a vitamin B, which all can be found naturally in food or ingested through a multivitamin. Just to give you an example, vitamin A encourages a natural production of sebum, which is essential for a healthy scalp. Vitamin E promotes blood circulation, and so number 3.
So yeah, obviously get your micronutrients in. If you don't use Cronometer, I recommend you use that. That's the app I use to track my micronutrient intake to make sure I'm hitting everything. And if I'm deficient in anything that I otherwise can't hit because I'm in a calorie deficit and I otherwise can't just add in some food into my diet to fill that hole, that's what she said. Yeah, good one. So if I have like let's just say I'm cutting and I'm in very calorie deprived diet model, it becomes a lot harder to hit your micronutrients through whole food. And that's where, you know, using something like a multivitamin or, you know, something along those lines would make more sense, rather than if you're eating at maintenance or in a surplus, you should have no problem hitting your micronutrients though. And I recommend you check out Cronometer if you haven't tried it. And if you want an example of a diet model that makes it like idiot proof to hit your micro and macronutrients and is conducive for strength and muscle growth, check out the diet model that I recommend for newbies in the video description below. It's called the Vertical Diet. And it's honestly like it's like muscle building 101 while considering gut health, while considering thyroid health, while considering micronutrient intake. And it makes it kind of idiot proof to like check off all the boxes. So I recommend you check that out if you are feeling overwhelmed, trying to figure out how to hit your micronutrients and what to eat. Because, you know, it can be it's one thing to hit your protein, your fat, and your carbs, but it's a whole nother thing to be like, okay, hit every single vitamin, hit every single mineral, hit every single thing. Don't overdo this, don't overdo that. Make sure you have a good balance of fucking zinc to copper. Make sure this and that. So check it out if you're interested, and let's go on to the next one.
Use medication. You see, medication is not this weird term anymore where you have to go to the doctor and get this complex prescription and then go to the pharmacy and get your meds. It doesn't have to be that weird or that.
That's true. And this is why telemedicine is the way of the future, and why I have a TRT clinic that you can get anything you need, and your protocol's designed over the phone, Skype, FaceTime, Zoom. You can talk to one of our doctors who will design a personalized protocol for you based on your own individual needs, whether it be testosterone replacement therapy, whether it be hair loss prevention. We do all that stuff in-house. And I presume this is about to be a plug for some company like, let's see in the video description, head to keeps.com. Okay, yeah, there you go. So one of those sites that's like basically a turnkey, you know, like telemedicine place specifically for hair loss. Keeps is like, their focus is like finasteride, minoxidil, etc. So I think he's gonna go into a big ad now about why you should take finasteride and minoxidil, so let's hear it.
You can avoid the awkward lines, the awkward visits with modern brands. For example, our sponsor Keeps is completely changing the game when it comes to men dealing with hair loss. Why? Because you can get all of that from the comfort of your home. You can still get that doctor consultation. You still can get prescribed medication that helps combat hair loss, and you can still get the meds without even going to the pharmacy because they get delivered to your door. What's great about our sponsor Keeps is that you're removing all that awkward and time wasted to do that whole process, getting it delivered to your door at a periodic rate to ensure that you have what you need to make sure you're actually keeping your hair. This is exactly why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than anybody else because Keeps products actually work. Some stats of what their customers have experienced: regrowth. That's why if you're seeing Keeps.com.
Holy shit, it's a long ad. So basically, he talks about why this brand is so good, blah, blah, even though it's the same generic medication you're gonna get from fucking anywhere. And frankly, you can get a 6-month supply of minoxidil from Amazon for like $40 as long as you deal with the Gracie Kirkland shit. So you don't need Keeps minoxidil, nor do you need minoxidil from my clinic either, unless you were getting it compounded by a compounding pharmacy with tretinoin in it or any kind of other meds to kind of enhance, either sulfosyltransferase enzyme activity or anything like that. But frankly, if you're just going minoxidil straight, like the best deal you're gonna get is off of Amazon or like a mainstream brand that is not trying to prescribe it to you, because it's an over-the-counter medication. It's not that cheap. It's very cheap to get. And then finasteride, he doesn't do any education on the fucking side effects or anything that you can expect from this stuff. He's just like, go get it, and doesn't know shit about it, which to me is pretty irresponsible, to be honest. Like, at least educate about like what you're fucking doing. You're about to tell guys to go order a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, which might as well be an anti-androgen with the amount of DHT it wipes out, as well as a fucking potassium channel opener that can cause orthostatic hypotension and a significant amount of fucking water retention, a shedding phase, fucking bloating, fucking edema, fucking arrhythmias. Like, this guy just doesn't touch anything because he doesn't know what he's talking about, and that's not a good look if you're talking about fucking medications, in my opinion.
Offer that they're giving you right now. Number 4, avoid brushing your hair when it's wet. When your hair's wet, it's at its weakest state. This is why it's so easy for your hair to start pulling and coming off when you start untangling it with your comb. What's happening is that you're literally breaking and plucking your hair from its root. What I suggest you to do is invest in a wide tooth comb or a wet brush. You can get these for very affordable on Amazon, and they're gonna be way smoother at untangling your hair and reducing the damage.
I guess. Fuck, I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with that. I guess do that, guys. Might as well, if that's actually the case. I don't know if that's the case, but fucking might as well.
5, cut out all the alcohol. You see, alcohol is a dehydrator, and heavy alcohol use can lead to the damage of the health of your hair. Remember what I said previously? When your body is dehydrated, it can make existing hair follicles very dry. This ends up making it more brittle, which makes it easy for your hair to fall out.
Didn't he just say don't brush your hair when it's wet, but then when it's dry, it's also brittle and it's gonna fall out easier? It's like, what state does it not fall out, dude? Should I have like half wet, half dry? Like, I don't fucking get it, man.
Hydration can also cause dandruff. So all that alcohol, it's not working. Number 6, I want you to avoid constant heating and drying. Now, I'm an advocate for using a hair dryer. It's the best way to style your hair like you want and get the volume that you want. However, excessively using it, especially on a very high heat setting, can completely just burn your hair and destroy the health of it. What you want to do is start protecting your hair. Try using the cool or the medium setting, or you should use some sort of pre-style that's a high quality one that you apply before you start using the heat. That way you can protect your hair from the heat if you decide to go that hot.
I would recommend that too. How much does it actually play into you losing your hair, androgenic alopecia versus not? Fucking none. But, it might prevent your hair from getting damaged. So I guess worth deploying nonetheless.
Finally, number 7, I'm going to need you to de-stress your life. Studies have shown a direct link between stress and hair loss. And like I mentioned in the beginning,
stress and hair loss is going to induce it's like, yeah, you could argue, like, obviously, like alopecia areata and stuff like that is going to be more relevant in this context. Does stress actually accelerate androgenic alopecia though? Like, you could argue, like cortisol goes up, which then indirectly has feedback with the HPTA, which then can cause, adrenal steroid production, which can, in the tissue itself can cause an upregulation of fucking 5-alpha reductase activity, which can cause this and that. Blah, blah, blah. Is it definitive though that it's going to accelerate androgenic alopecia? Like, it definitely isn't good, I guess, stress, so you might as well minimize it, but I don't think it's going to determine if you have it or not. Like some of the people I know who are the most stressed out, well, like most people I know who are stressed out have just normal fucking hair genetics, but I know a couple guys who are like fucking hair loss resistant in their 60s, and like I literally only know like 2 people that have these fucking genetics and they're related, and they're very stressed and their hair is perfect. The rest of them shows their stress, but their hair is fucking immaculate, and that's just their genetics. So, you know, how much does it actually play into it at the end of the day? I don't think a whole lot, dude, to be honest. Like maybe, you know, maybe it might exacerbate things. At most it might exacerbate it, but it's not going to be the make or break between if you get androgenic alopecia or not, in my opinion. If you are prone to androgenic alopecia, which 99% of you guys probably are to some extent, it might exacerbate it, but like to whatever extent. Like at the end of the day, being not stressed is ideal. So I guess just, you know, use that and, you know, try and be fucking calm, I guess, because being stressed in general is not a good state to be operating in for many health processes, not just your hair health.
Some cases can be severe as alopecia, where you're gonna get these awkward patches of hair loss all over your hair that has nothing to do with your genetics.
Yeah, there you go. So the stress, you know, if you have like significantly high levels of stress and you get like a patch of hair fallout or something like that, like that's not androgenic alopecia, obviously. So that's going to grow back once the stress is removed out of your life, you know, similar to autoimmune diseases and things of this nature. It's not necessarily indicative of male pattern baldness. It's, you know, something else.
And everything to do with stress. So I want you to find something that calms you down, whether that's listening to music, reading a good book, going out for a walk, binge watching a show, whatever it is, and practice it daily as a form to de-stress from all the clutter and anxiety that's going on in your mind. That way you can relax and ensure you keep your hair.
Okay, so in general, pretty much what I expected. A very basic video by frankly, a very basic channel. This guy is puts out the same cookie cutter advice constantly and doesn't hit the cutting edge whatsoever. It's always the same fucking shit. You know, make sure you have a sick fucking gel, and then like here's this gel, and like make sure you have sick fucking sunglasses. Here's the sunglasses. It's like nothing about like any kind of like pharmacologic intervention, anything that could enhance your performance, anything that could enhance your fucking cognitive ability. Nothing really cutting edge in my opinion. And the hair loss stuff is just, you know, very cookie cutter advice. Don't damage your hair with like shitty fucking shampoos or high heat or fucking crank on it with a comb. Like, yeah, no shit. Like, thanks, dude. So the finasteride and minoxidil advice is obviously, you know, the only thing that really, and I guess anti-stress to some extent, is the only thing you can really take away from that video, but you already fucking knew that. We all knew that. Anyone who watched that video already knew that pretty much, probably. And if they were looking that stuff up in the first place, and at least if you're gonna touch on the pharmaceuticals, like at least educate somewhat on it. Like I get you're paid for the fucking slot, but I mean, have some information on it. Like you're about to expose some guy to fucking go get this medication for the rest of your life that's going to slash your DHT levels by 60 to 70% and take this fucking potassium channel opener and drop your fucking blood pressure to the point where, you know, you might have some significant edema that you need a fucking diuretic to get rid of, and you're locked on the medication for life because once you stop it, you're going to induce telogen effluvium and fucking shed your fucking head off. Maybe, you know, let people know about that before you just put them on the fucking medication. That would be my advice, and would be responsible prior to just haphazardly recommending people get on what is actually fairly intense medications. So take from that what you will. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think of teaching men's fashion and his hair loss advice, and his advice in general? Like honestly, he has a sick channel and he's very charismatic and he's entertaining and whatnot, but it's like some of these channels like Alpha M, Teaching Men's Fashion, they're so fucking cookie cutter and basic that it's like hard for me to take them seriously anymore, because it's like, how many times can you tell me to shave my pubes? You know, like I fucking get it, dude. We all shave our pubes, like we get it. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Check out my blog, moreplates.com, if you want to get deep dives into actual useful hair loss pharmacology information. Subscribe to the newsletter, first link in the description below. You're not going to get sent my articles unless you subscribe to that. Follow me on Instagram at moreplates_moredates, Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to listen instead of burn through your data watching on YouTube, that's where the Apple Podcast comes into play. And I'm also on Spotify and all the other places I think that have podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below, as well as the pharma-grade hair loss medications that I deploy personally, with exception of the experimental research chemicals, the actual pharma-grade stuff that is legal to purchase and whatnot and get a prescription for. All linked in the description below. You can check that out. And thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.